the virtual element is one of the property or determination mechanism that we will be using on our CDS view level. If we have something some calculation needed to be done in the ABAP layer. For example, let's say if okay, so for example, if we want to read any of the document text objects, okay, so that is exactly the right example. If let's say we are displaying or we are getting the list of sales orders, but for some reason if we want to read the header text of the sales order, so in that case, to read the text objects, we do not specifically have a mechanism in the CDS view, whereas some of the customers might be maintaining their identifiers in the form of text objects. So whatever the text object will have the value maintained on it, so that might need be part of our CDSU result set. Okay, so let me go into this sales order and tell you what that is. But meanwhile, let us go into this CDSU I underscore sales order. Let me pick this I underscore sales order. And in this one, if you see, we will not be having any text related things, header text, item text, or something like that. So they are all text associations, that business area text and etc. But they are not really the header text and item text. Okay, so in this one, if we look at any of the sales order, let me pick up some sales order. I think, yeah, 31, 32, 33. I have created them. If we look at these, this particular sales order, come on. The system might have got restarted, otherwise it would not compile this much time. So in this one, the text what I am talking about is, if you look at this display header details, in the header details, we have text option here. So in this text, we have these many text objects listed down here. And if the customer maintains any of the text here, for example, so let me go into the change mode of it, change mode of this sales order. So if I go to the headers and text, let me maintain some text, billing instruction, for example. So in the billing instruction, I would say, okay, and also if we want, that is the billing instruction, and if we want shipping instruction, for example, so First Street, 23rd Main, or 23rd Main, and 8th Cross, let's say. So this is the shipping instruction. Let me save this sales order information. And for this one, so if we want to get this text as part of our CDS view, then how are we going to get this information? So in that case, we will be using a virtual element concept available in CDS views. So this kind of text, not only this one, if we have any other feasibilities or any other things needed to be done via a virtual determination. So this is one of the example, and another example what I think of right now is getting the information from the remote systems. So if you have a sales order information, sales order number in your local system, and whereas you want to determine or get some additional information from any remote system instantly. So in that case, we will be needing this virtual element. Don't get confused between the custom entity and the virtual element. The custom entity is completely getting the information from a class. So that is a complete entity information will be returned from the class. But virtual element here is not going to be getting the complete entity information, but instead it's going to be a specific element of this particular entity. So a particular field, a particular column. So if you want this column, a particular column to be derived from ABAP class, then we will be using a custom entity. Okay, so let me go ahead and create one sample CDSU here, and from there we will be just going ahead to create custom virtual element from there. So new, and let me choose other, and in the other, so new data definition. I'm going to create a new data definition, virtual element, sales text, virtual element, and where is this one? Package. Let me pick up a package. Yeah, that's fine. And let me go ahead, and I'll be publishing this as OData service as well. So whereas these virtual elements, I'll tell you what happens. Let me pick up this sales order, and from sales order, I'm going to select only few of the fields, not all of them. And those few of the fields, let me choose the sales order. Sales order, sales document type, sales order type created by user, yeah, that's fine. So at the ending, I would like to add these two text elements that we have seen. I think I made them in a different language. Let me shipping instructions, and shipping instructions are created in the German language. I could create this in English. That's fine. So we'll use that's okay. So we'll use this language itself to read the text. That's absolutely fine. So in this case, what is this one? Shipping instruction and billing instruction. These are the two fields that I wanted to add in my CDS view. So here, initially we will be using the space as shipping instruction. Okay, so and also we will use the blank field as billing instruction. So in this case, as we have to determine the text from the ABAP layer. So here we'll just say again we will use the object model dot virtual element as true. So we use this virtual element as true, and a subsequent annotation has to follow. Again, okay, you are saying this is a virtual element. So what is how this field has been calculated? So virtual element dot calculated by. So this has to follow the virtual element, and here in the calculated by, we will be giving the class name here, ABAP. Let's start with ABAP, and we provide the virtual element calculation class. Okay, and same thing will be used. Same thing will be used for the another field as well. Okay, so these two are the virtual elements, and we will need to create this virtual element class, whereas we know that, so there will be certain instructions to create this virtual element class, and also we will be casting this, applying a cast to this one, and whereas we will use a cat 255 type, or whatever the suitable type we need it to fit our description into that one. And here also we'll be using the casting as cat 255. So now that's fine. What is this warning? Okay, that's fine. So let me activate this one. So this one has been activated. Now let us go ahead and create our help class. I mean the virtual element class. So let me open here and go ahead, create virtual element helper class, and save this one. And I'm going to use the package, sorry. Okay, that's okay. And here we will be using one of the interface where we will need to perform whatever the operation that we need. And we know that if this has been a determined property and if it needs to be part of filter or sort and etc., because whenever a CDSU has been published, in that case the default filters and sorts, everything will be applicable. But if we include any of the virtual element part of filter or sort capabilities, then how this virtual element has been implemented, that also should mention about the sorting and filtering criteria in its calculation class. Okay, so as of now we just think about the reading of the value. So for reading we have the interface. That interface is SADL exit calc. Let me press F4 element read. Okay, and if you remove this, exit and press, if you see, these are all the classes available for virtual elements. So you can see here filter transformation, sort transformation. If we want this field to be part of filter and sort as well, then we have to include these two interfaces, and we need to implement the methods available in that particular interfaces. So right now we are thinking about the element read. So we just go ahead with the element read. So press enter and it automatically brings the SADL exit interface, which is a prerequisite for that one. And if you go into this methods list, we have calculate and get calculation info methods. So these two methods, whenever we need to derive or determine the field value, then we will be using this calculate method, and get calculation info method if we want to notify this framework that okay, these are all the fields requested for calculation elements. So let's pass this one like that. And if some of the fields not listed down here in the CDSU, and if we want to include them as part of the derivation, then also we can come here and we can include those fields into this into the list in this calculation info method. Okay, so let me save this one, and if you go into the calculate calculation method, and here we will see the original data, whatever. I'll come to that actually, and CT calculated data. So this is where we will need to pass the information back to the framework. So how this works, that is what important thing that we need to know. So once we if we is it activated? Yes, this is activated. Let me activate this class as well. So activate. Okay, so now let me go ahead and put a external breakpoint here. Okay, perfect. And if I, okay, that's fine. So if I go ahead here, so generally how our perception would be. So if I execute from here, I would like to see this is triggering, right? So that is how we think about. But this is not how the virtual element has been designed. The framework, how the framework will treat for this particular virtual element. So whenever you publish this as a OData service, so that is the only way I can think of right now, how these virtual elements will trigger. Otherwise, whenever this CDSU has been accessed by any of the consumer, so that is where this virtual element will be triggered. So how exactly what I mean to say, let me publish this as a OData service. Okay, OData dot publish true. So now I'm publishing this as a OData service. So let me publish this one. So now this will be directly going to be utilized in the consumer. So whenever the data is being passed on to the consumer, so it has collected all the information from CDSU, and finally it is going to hand it over to the consumer. Just right before handing over the data to the consumer, our virtual element will be triggered, providing all the data that has been determined from the CDSU. So now let's see it. Let's go to the gateway client and see now. Let me use the get entity set, and this is what the get entity set that I have. And now I'm getting this, reading this one. And now if you see, just before going to the consumer, this virtual element calculation method will be triggered. So here, how the data will be, if you see here, it will bring all the data into this particular method. So we will be looping across this data, and we will be filling the required fields here. Whatever the fields that have been identified as calculation required, we will be filling those field values, and we will be exporting this table as it is. Okay, so if you see here, IT required calculation elements, and these are the two elements or two columns that are requiring calculation on this particular entity. So by this one, we will be just calculating it and reporting the information back. So here how and from now onwards we can, okay, so from this point of view, let me go here and how we will be reading this one. And from this ABAP logic point of view, it's absolutely up to us how we write this logic. display text. Let me go there, and this is for billing instruction. And that is where we just get get the text object and all the relevant information that we need. And here we know that we will be calling a function, a read text function module. And in the read text, we will be needing ID language, and the language is going to be DE because we have created the text with DE language. And in the ID, we will be having the sales order number. So we will just having the loopat is going to be the IT original data. And we will be updating all the information within the loop, and we'll send it back to the CT calculated fields. And let me go ahead, text, go to the header. And if you see, the text ID is going to be the sales order number, and text ID is going to be okay, name is sales order, and TX05 is the ID. Text ID is going to be the TX05, and name is going to be the sales order number. Object is going to be the VBBK, and name, I think we need to think about this one because yeah, and this is not going to be that is not going to be the type, and this is what the type it's going to be. Let me define that type here. Yeah, type table of this one. Okay, and let me equal to this one, IT original data. Let me say that, and let me loop this one. So now we will have the sales order number in this structure. Okay, so sales order is going to be our name, and I think we might need to apply conversion at this place. Not sure how the format is coming at the moment. I have not observed that one. And here we will be receiving the text table here. So if we see that lines, T lines, and so LT text, and we just place the text here. And now we just loop at this LT text. And this one, I'm just going to write it for only one field. Okay, let me less text. This one, what is this one? Is it, I think, billing, yeah, billing instruction. So if there are multiple line items, multiple lines of text, that is the reason we need the loop. Otherwise, if we know there will be only one line of text always, then we can straight away read the text from line 1 and we can populate it. Okay, and here let me put this into billing instruction. That's okay. And now let me append this ls data to CT calculated data. Okay, so that's it. So let me activate it and see if there are any errors. No errors. That's okay. Let me go ahead here and okay. Let me execute this one. Has been abnormally terminated. That's fine. Not sure what was the issue. Not compatible. Where is that one? Okay, LT data is not compatible. Corresponding of this one. So, okay, where is this one done? Yeah, and so that's fine. So if you see here, we have got the data, and now let me see what is this. Okay, so we have the sales orders with the preceding zeros. That's fine. Now I think we are going to get the data. So was the issue? I see it's fine, but figure determination at the application. What is this? I think the name of this text maybe the parameter type might not be matching. Let me check that one. The name is going to be the TD name, which is object name 70 character. Yep. Object name and equals to this one. Yeah, rest all looks fine. Again, it's the same error. Let me run this one and see the information. Yeah, text name is correct. Maybe language. Come on.
Language enter the single character there.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Language. Yes, it's a single character. So the silly mistakes, forgive me for that. Yeah. Okay, and so here we go. We got it, and that's okay. Come on. What is this again? Um,
X-trade field, I think.
yeah, I think again it's the same maybe. Let me go at least one step.
No, here size of check failed, Chintan.
Yeah, that's fine. So there is no text for the first one.
Okay. Okay.
So we have text only for 31, 32, 33. Oh, okay. So there's a CT already have the data, and we are just appending that. So I think CT already have the data up to 34 rows. We need to clear that one first. Let me do that. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh, required fields are 2 and they are being calculated only for 2 fields. Then what is the issue there? I don't see any issue. Uh, this is absolutely correct. Let us clear this first. And anyway, we have done that, but we missed few fields in the beginning. And then yeah, that's okay. The thing is, we should be having the same CDSU name. That's it. That is correct, and the rest of the process is correct. Yeah. let me run through it now. Yeah, so that was the reason, because we have deleted few of the key fields in between, whereas it was cross-checking with the original data once it is being returned back to the gateway layer. So we shouldn't be adding any new key fields to this CT data, and we shouldn't be removing anything from this CT calculated data. So all the data from IT original data, all those key fields must exist. So that's what uh, uh, that's how it is required. And if we look at this, where is this? Yeah, the description, shipping instruction has been included with this one. Come on. So shipping instruction, billing instruction. Okay, so this is concatenating few other informations. It seems the shipping information and the billing information has been populated, if you see here. So what is the 22, and even for 22, this is being populated. I think we haven't cleared the information. Anyway, that's fine. So the implementation how we want, so we can implement in such a manner. So this maybe this billing instruction information might not be getting cleared or something happening here. That's fine. So now the point here, if we want something information need to be calculated or derived from ABAP layer for any one or more of the fields inside the element specific to the fields, then this is the way how we determine the values. So one of the example is reading the text elements into the CDS view, and also the getting the remote information from other systems than the system that we are developing the CDS views. Okay, so virtual elements is the one, and for rest of the business application studio things, I'll be looking at it the best possible way how we can work on it. So by this topic, I think we have covered all the CDS concepts, AMDP concepts, and BOPF transactional concepts, all this, and we are left with the UI5. So we will be working on UI5 from tomorrow onwards. Thank you.